Archangel Michael says, only 2 minutes left. This is about the house you are living in. Very soon a woman is going to be exposed. Don't skip this message. My beloved child, the Spirit of the Lord is stirring tonight, and Archangel Michael's voice echoes like thunder through the realms of light. He says only 2 minutes left. You can feel the urgency in the air, the vibration in your very bones. This message isn't random. It's for you, right where you're sitting, in the very house you're living in. The atmosphere around you has been shifting, and heaven has been watching closely. Something has been hidden in your environment, something that was meant to stay buried. But Archangel Michael has been dispatched with a flaming sword of truth. He declares that a woman connected to your dwelling, emotionally, spiritually, or even through unseen influence, is about to be exposed. Not to shame her, but to release you from the chains she tied around your destiny. Child of light, you may have felt confusion, exhaustion, or even strange disturbances lately, like your peace has been silently drained. That's not your imagination. Archangel Michael whispers that this disturbance began when truth was buried under manipulation. But now, heaven says, no more delay. What was hidden in shadows is being dragged into the light. 2 minutes in heavenly timing may not be literal, but it's prophetic. It's an alert. You are standing at the edge of revelation. The unseen is about to become seen. The one who has pretended to be loyal, caring, or spiritually aligned, her mask is slitting. She cannot hold it any longer. God is aligning the timeline so that what was covered in deception will be revealed in plain sight. Even now, Archangel Michael's presence is surrounding your home. His wings guard your thresholds, his sword burns through false energy, and his voice declares, "Peace be still in this place." Do not fear what is being exposed. What you lose in the next moments was never meant to stay. What you gain will be pure, divine, and unstoppable. Before this moment ends, take a breath and anchor this truth in your spirit. The exposure is not punishment, it's protection. Heaven is removing what hinders your anointing. You are stepping into divine freedom, and the countdown has already begun. Wait for it, because the next revelation will shake your spirit awake in ways you never imagined. Type "I receive the mystery" in the comments if this is speaking to your soul. Lesson code 777 is now active in your atmosphere. My dearest one, Archangel Michael now steps closer. The countdown has begun, and the vibration of his message grows louder. He says, only 2 minutes left, not in fear, but in divine precision. Heaven's clock is striking alignment. Something that was festering unseen inside the very walls of your house, physical or spiritual, is being brought into the light. Michael shows me a veil lifting, a secret untangling, a truth that has waited too long to breathe. The energy around your home is trembling because truth has a sound, and that sound is beginning to echo. There is a woman connected to your space. She has walked among your peace, spoken softly, perhaps even smiled with care. But Archangel Michael says, what is hidden behind the smile shall speak for itself. She has been covering her intentions, wearing the garment of light while harboring shadows in her heart. This exposure is not to destroy her, it is to deliver you. Heaven cannot allow your spirit to live under deception any longer. That is why the angelic trumpet has sounded. You may soon notice unusual shifts, conversations revealing new truths, dreams carrying warnings, objects misplaced or suddenly found. These are not coincidences, they are signs. Michael wants you to be alert, not anxious. The exposure is not something you chase, it comes to you. When it happens, you will know. The peace of heaven will fill your home like fresh wind. The tension you silently battled will break. Archangel Michael is now fortifying your boundaries. He walks through the rooms, tracing the air with his sword of blue flame. Every whisper of manipulation, every unholy agreement, every false tie is being cut loose. He commands, this home belongs to the light. You might sense heat, chills, or even tears. These are the symptoms of deliverance. Do not resist it. The Spirit is cleansing your atmosphere. The woman who shall be exposed may try to shift the story, but truth carries its own authority. You need not defend yourself. Heaven will speak louder than lies. The Lord says, be still, and watch me vindicate you. This exposure will mark a turning point. Once it unfolds, everything that follows will move quickly. Finances, relationships, even your spiritual gifts will begin to realign. It is the restoration that comes after revelation. Before you let go of this message, pause for a moment. Feel the air around you. Notice how it stirs differently now. That is Michael's assurance. You are not alone in this battle. He fights for your home, your name, your peace. Trust me, the next unfolding will reveal why this was the moment heaven chose to intervene. What you're about to hear next will take your breath away. Type I am covered in light in the comments if your spirit bears witness. Blessing code 8811 is now released over your home. My chosen soul, as the clock of heaven keeps ticking, Archangel Michael's voice thunders again. The house is shifting. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but your spirit can already feel it. Something divine is unfolding in your dwelling, a movement that separates light from shadow. Michael says the spiritual structure of your home has been tested, and what does not belong will be shaken out. Every hidden motive, every word spoken behind closed doors, every false alliance, it is all being uncovered under heaven's light. There is a strong message here. The exposure of this woman is not a random event. She has touched something sacred, your peace, your promise, your purpose. She stepped into a space she was not invited to rule. But Archangel Michael stands now at your threshold, declaring, this home shall no longer host deception. Her time of hidden influence is over. The 2-minute warning was heaven's alarm, a countdown to purification. You are standing at the edge of divine justice, and the spiritual atmosphere is being rewritten. If you've been waking up at strange hours, hearing soft whispers, or feeling a heavy stillness at night, these are not accidents. Heaven has been trying to alert you. Michael says your spirit has been sensitive to the imbalance, and that sensitivity is your divine radar. When the exposure happens, there will be a sudden shift in your inner peace. A burden will lift. You breathe differently, sleep differently, even think differently. That's how you will know it was not just coincidence. It was divine orchestration. God says, this moment is not to harm you, but to honor you. For too long, your kindness has been mistaken for weakness. But heaven has recorded every tear, every silent prayer, every sigh you made when things didn't make sense. The exposure of this woman is not revenge, it's restoration. She represented a blockage, a distraction, a subtle opposition against your spiritual acceleration. Michael's sword has already cut through her influence. She cannot disguise her intent anymore. The truth will reveal itself through divine timing, and when it does, you will stand untouched while the false narrative collapses. Beloved, prepare yourself spiritually. Cleanse your home with prayer. Speak over your walls, your doors, your windows. Anoint your space with faith and command peace to return. You are taking back spiritual authority over what belongs to you. Archangel Michael is beside you, holding the flame of heaven, declaring victory in your name. Before you move from this moment, I want you to lift your heart, and release gratitude. Because this message found you in time. You didn't miss it. Heaven made sure you heard it before the exposure begins. Hold on, for what happens next will not only confirm this message, but will also mark the beginning of a new spiritual chapter for you. Now, before you go further, if this word has pierced your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Like this message, share it with others who may need this divine warning. Comment below what part spoke to you the most, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next revelation heaven is preparing. Spread this light. Someone else's deliverance could depend on it. Type "I am chosen for truth" in the comments if this word resonates with you. Blessing code 4411 has now been unlocked in your favor. Beloved, as you receive this word, remember that spreading messages like this isn't just sharing content. It's igniting divine awakening in hearts across the world. When you support this mission, you're not helping a channel, you're helping God reach souls ready to wake up. I feel led to tell you, this is fertile ground. When you sow into this light, you activate your own harvest. Archangel Michael's mantle covers every giver, and the oil of provision flows where obedience moves. The Lord says, those who partner with my message will carry the fragrance of heaven. You can release your seed through Super Thanks membership with a PayPal link in the description. Let your giving be your declaration that you stand for truth and divine revelation in this generation. The heavens are open. Step into this blessing now. Beloved heart of light, as the revelation deepens, Archangel Michael stands once again at the gates of your destiny. His wings unfold like burning gold, and his eyes pierce through illusion. He whispers, the time of silence is ending. Heaven's watchmen have already taken note of what has been done in secret. The exposure that has begun in your home is not only about a woman. It is about every shadow connected to her. The truth is stretching through generations, through patterns of deceit that tried to hide behind family ties, friendship, or false compassion. The angels are aligning heaven's order over your dwelling. You may begin to notice the subtle ways God is rearranging your surroundings. People who once called often may suddenly grow distant. Conversations may end abruptly. Don't mourn their absence. It is divine filtration. When light intensifies, shadows cannot linger. The same spirit that revealed the truth is now sealing your peace. What felt like a breakdown is in fact a breakthrough. The woman soon to be exposed with the key to unlocking a greater chain of revelation, one that frees your household from cycles of betrayal. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something powerful. This moment was written in heaven long before you knew it. There is nothing accidental about this message reaching you today. The 2-minute warning was heaven's grace, not its threat. It means you are being positioned for restoration at the speed of obedience. Every tear you have shed has watered the soil of this moment. Now that soil is breaking open with the fruit of justice. If you sense the stirring of unease around you, do not fight it with fear. Stand firm in prayer. Speak the words of light. No weapon formed against my home shall prosper. As you say this aloud, Michael's sword strikes through the unseen barriers. This is not imagination. It is spiritual warfare in real time. Your faith activates the angelic. Every declaration of truth strengthens the wall of divine protection around your home. And yet, there is something deeper Michael wants to unveil. He says the exposure is not only about her being revealed, it is also about you being elevated. When truth rises, so do those who love truth. The moment of revelation also opens a portal of acceleration. After the exposure, expect doors to open that once resisted you. Expect favor to appear in unexpected places. Expect your name to be mentioned in rooms where your feet have not yet stepped. Heaven always rewards those who endure the storm without losing their faith. There is one more thing heaven wants to whisper: forgive quickly. When exposure happens, resist bitterness. It may be tempting to rejoice in someone's fall, but God's justice is holy, not cruel. Your purity in this response will determine the magnitude of your next blessing. The woman will face her own mirror. Your role is to stay in peace. Wait for what comes next, because Archangel Michael says, the unveiling is only the beginning of the uprising. Heaven is preparing to not only cleanse your house but also crown your calling. The next message will show you the sign that confirms everything spoken here. Type "I walk in divine justice" in the comments if this message resonates in your spirit. Blessing code 9922 is now released upon your household. My radiant child, the air around you is beginning to change, and if you listen closely, you can almost hear the hum of angelic wings brushing through your atmosphere. Archangel Michael is not only protecting your home, he is teaching your spirit how to discern what is pure from what is poisoned. He says, you cannot carry divine truth and human deception in the same space. The moment of separation is here. Heaven has already started rearranging what belongs to you, and every false voice connected to your peace is being silenced. Michael shows me a vision of a door half open and half closed. This is the doorway between revelation and realization. You are standing in that doorway right now. The woman who is about to be exposed represents the final piece of a puzzle that has caused confusion in your life for too long. She carried a vibration that blurred your clarity, that whispered half-truths, that made you question your own intuition. But the veil is lifting, and as it does, you are regaining your spiritual sight. You will look back and realize that her presence in your life was never meant to last. It was meant to teach discernment. There are angels standing at the four corners of your home right now, marking it with light. Michael declares, this dwelling is sealed by divine order. The house you live in is not just a structure of walls and windows. It is an altar, a sacred space where heaven meets earth. That is why darkness fought so hard to infiltrate it. But heaven is winning this battle. Every whisper of manipulation is losing power. Every unseen curse is dissolving. Every emotional cord that tied you to false peace is being cut. The Spirit of God says, you will feel this freedom tangibly. You may wake up one morning and find that your mind feels lighter, that the heaviness you carried for years suddenly vanishes. That will be the sign that the exposure has completed its purpose. It is not coming to embarrass. It is coming to restore. The moment the truth breaks, peace will return to your home like sunlight after a storm. And what follows will surprise you. Financial doors opening, delayed blessings manifesting, and prayers long forgotten being answered all at once. Archangel Michael wants you to prepare. He says, do not be shocked by who steps away from you. When truth begins to shine, some will retreat because they can no longer hide in your light. Do not chase them. Let the divine separation complete itself. For what leaves now could never hold what heaven is sending next. The energy of your home is becoming clean, holy, line. Every corner that once carried tension will soon carry tranquility. Before you move on, place your hand over your heart. Whisper these words softly. Archangel Michael, I welcome divine truth into my home. Let only what is pure remain. As you speak, imagine your home surrounded by radiant fire, sealing every door and window with peace. Feel it. That is heaven's assurance. The storm is not your end. It is your cleansing. Hold your breath for what's next, because Archangel Michael says, the next sign will appear not in the walls, but in your dreams. What happens next will confirm everything. Type I receive the cleansing in the comments if this word resonates with you. Lesson code 5511 has now been released over your home. Beloved listener of light, Archangel Michael now speaks in a tone filled with both warning and tenderness. His words move like waves of authority through the unseen realm. He says, "Do not fear what is being revealed, for revelation is the first step to restoration." The exposure that heaven has promised is now entering its active stage. What was once whispered in darkness is beginning to echo in the open. The very house where you have prayed, wept, and waited is becoming the stage of divine justice. Heaven has chosen your home as a place of demonstration, proof that God still fights for those who trust in His timing. There is a strong spiritual vibration surrounding you tonight. You may feel sudden chills, waves of emotion, or a stirring within your spirit. Do not dismiss it. Michael says, that is the evidence that the veil is thinning. The woman about to be exposed has woven herself into circles where she pretended to be light, yet carried words that twisted truth. Her voice carried the sound of flattery but the intention of control. The angels are cutting her influence thread by thread, and soon the truth will burst forth like sunrise. You will witness it not through confrontation but through divine unfolding. Heaven itself will make the evidence known. When the exposure happens, it may shake some around you. People you thought would understand might question what they see. But Michael assures you, your vindication will speak louder than explanations. You will not have to justify yourself, for heaven's justice is self-revealing. Every lie spun against you will unravel, and the same voices that doubted you will be silenced by truth's brightness. This is divine reversal at work. The Lord says, I am turning your home into a sanctuary of revelation. Once this truth is revealed, your atmosphere will change completely. Prayer will flow more freely. Dreams will return with clarity. The heaviness that used to sit on your chest when you entered the room will disappear. Even the light in your home will feel different because divine order carries its own frequency. Michael wants you to prepare your heart for that moment. It is not the end of something. It is the beginning of your spiritual elevation. You may wonder, why a woman? Why such precision in the prophecy? Michael reveals that this feminine energy represents not only a person but a spirit, a manipulative influence disguised as care. His purpose was to distort perception, to make you question your worth and your spiritual standing. But heaven is severing that link once and for all. The sword of light is cutting through every unseen attachment, freeing your home from this shadow. The peace you will feel afterward will be undeniable, and you will know that heaven itself intervened. Child of the divine, do not underestimate what is happening. This message has reached you in perfect timing. Michael says, every warning sent from heaven carries both protection and promise. You are being protected from what was meant to limit your destiny and promised a future of unshakable clarity. You are standing on holy ground, even if that ground is your own living room. Stay with this message until the end, for what Archangel Michael reveals next will show you the divine sign that confirms the exposure has occurred. It will be unmistakable, and it will leave no doubt that heaven has moved on your behalf. Type I stand in heaven's light in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Lesson code 6644 has just been activated over your life. Beloved bearer of truth, the hour is narrowing, and heaven's voice grows louder with every breath you take. Archangel Michael stands beside you now, his presence radiating through the atmosphere of your home. He declares, the exposure has begun, and truth cannot be undone. The veil that once shielded deception is tearing. You may already feel it, unexpected events unfolding, secrets surfacing through conversations, and hidden motives revealing themselves through the smallest of gestures. Nothing escapes the eye of divine justice. The woman, at the center of this message, is beginning to feel the weight of her own words. Her actions, once cloaked in charm, now echo with unease. Michael says, every false word returns to its speaker. Heaven's law of return is not cruel. It is corrective. What was meant to confuse you is now turning against its origin. The Lord is using this very situation to teach you that no lie can survive in the presence of persistent prayer. Every prayer you whispered in exhaustion, every night you stayed awake seeking peace, none were ignored. Heaven was listening. Now the Spirit moves within your home like a wind of truth. You may notice items shifting, air feeling heavier in certain corners, or moments where silence feels louder than sound. These are not strange occurrences. They are signs that the angelic hosts are finishing their work. Michael commands, "Let no darkness dwell in this home again." His sword has already sealed the entry points of deceit. He is cleansing not only your environment but your emotional atmosphere too. The anxiety that once lingered in the background is dissolving. The tension that drained your energy is being broken. Beloved, take courage. What you are witnessing is not destruction. It is divine correction. The exposure may come with discomfort. It may bring unexpected emotions. But Michael reminds you that discomfort is the signal of deliverance. The woman who once carried influence in your space will soon reveal her true nature, and when that happens, you must remain still. Do not react in anger or pride. Let truth do its work. Heaven is both judge and vindicator. You are not to speak every word you know, for silence will be your shield and grace your weapon. After this unveiling, a new spiritual gate will open. Your discernment will sharpen. You will begin to sense energies more clearly, who carries peace and who carries pretense. This is the gift that comes after exposure, clarity. Archangel Michael says, you will never again be deceived by a false light. The very spirit that tried to manipulate you will now serve as the training ground for your prophetic insight. You are stepping into a season where your intuition will align perfectly with heaven's frequency. As this chapter of Revelation nears its completion, take a moment to anoint your home again. Walk through each room declaring, light lives here. Speak peace into the walls and gratitude into the atmosphere. Let your words reshape the energy around you, for words are the building blocks of reality. You are not merely surviving this exposure, you are ascending because of it. Hold steady, for what happens next will be the undeniable sign that Archangel Michael's prophecy has fully unfolded. When you see it, you will not doubt. Heaven is about to prove that its word never returns void. Type "I am protected by heaven's fire" in the comments if this message speaks to your soul. Blessing code 7788 is now established over your dwelling. Child of divine alignment, as the hours draw closer to fulfillment, the voice of Archangel Michael grows even more precise. He stands at the center of your home, the air around him shimmering with light that cuts through illusion. His command resounds. The truth is unfolding even now. The countdown, that began with only 2 minutes left, was never about time in the earthly sense. It was about the nearness of revelation. The veil has nearly fallen. The hidden story that lingered in your environment is about to be fully seen. You are standing inside a sacred turning point, one that heaven has orchestrated down to the smallest detail. Michael says the woman connected to this message has reached the end of her false covering. Her intentions, once masked with politeness and comfort, have begun to crack under the weight of divine light. Every word she spoke in deception now returns to her for correction. But hear this clearly, you are not being called to vengeance, you are being called to freedom. When light exposes what darkness built, there is always a shaking. Yet after the shaking comes settlement. a restoration so deep that peace begins to echo through your walls like music. You may notice unusual clarity around you. The people who once carried confusion into your space suddenly feel distant. You might find yourself rearranging objects, cleaning corners, or feeling compelled to pray aloud in your home. These impulses are not random. They are heaven's way of partnering with you in the cleansing. Each act of alignment strengthens the shield around your dwelling. Archangel Michael's blue flame burns in the spirit over your house, forming a protective seal that no false energy can penetrate. The Spirit of the Lord says, "You have endured the storm, and now you shall inherit peace." This exposure will not leave you broken. It will leave you awakened. The truth will come forth quietly, yet its echo will be undeniable. Someone will speak something in passing, and you will know it's time. The revelation will come naturally, without your effort. And the moment it does, you will feel a release in your heart so profound that you will recognize heaven's signature upon it. This is not man's doing. This is divine orchestration. After this exposure, Michael says, your name will be restored. Those who misunderstood you will begin to see the truth. The energy of confusion will lift from your life, and you will step into new opportunities that once felt blocked. This clearing is not just emotional. It is spiritual and material. Doors that resisted you will now open effortlessly. Finances, relationships, and creativity will begin to flow again because your environment will finally be aligned with truth. Heaven cannot bless what hides in falsehood. That is why this exposure had to happen. It is the unlocking of your next dimension. Beloved, as you hear this, let your spirit stay humble and grateful. The purpose of revelation is not destruction. It is transformation. The woman who will be exposed will face her own mirror, and that mirror will teach her what her heart refused to see. Your task is to remain in light, to forgive quickly, and to let grace be your crown. For the one who chooses mercy after truth is revealed carries the true authority of heaven. Now pause, take a breath, and let gratitude rise in you. You are witnessing divine movement. If this message has stirred your heart, like this video, share it with those who may also be walking through exposure and confusion. Comment your confirmation below. Your words may be the reason someone else finds courage tonight. Subscribe to stay aligned with what heaven is releasing next, because the next revelation carries a prophecy of restoration you cannot afford to miss. Type "I am restored by truth" in the comments if this word resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 2233 is now released in your favor. Beloved, as Archangel Michael's message unfolds, remember that every time you stand with this mission, you help heaven reach another soul trapped in confusion. This is not about supporting a channel. It is about spreading light in a darkened world. When you give, you sow into the soil of revelation. The oil of understanding flows through every seed of faith released. The Lord says, "Those who sustain my message will never run dry." As you partner through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, you are not just offering, you are activating. Heaven records your obedience, and Archangel Michael himself releases blessing upon those who sustain the light. Do not delay. Let your giving speak as your worship. The rivers of increase are open for those who move with heaven's timing. Beloved keeper of the light, the Spirit of God now whispers through the stillness that follows revelation. Archangel Michael stands guard, his armor glowing with the reflection of your breakthrough. The moment of exposure is either unfolding or has already begun to manifest, and heaven's script is now entering the stage of restoration. Michael says, "Do not look back with bitterness. Look forward with boldness." What was revealed was never meant to destroy you but to release the truth that had been waiting beneath years of silence. The shaking you felt in your home was not chaos. It was construction. Heaven was rebuilding your foundation upon truth so that no lie could dwell in your future. There is something profound happening in your spiritual atmosphere now. The tension that once lived in your home has weakened. The air itself carries more peace. You may find yourself breathing differently, sleeping better, or simply feeling as if something invisible has lifted. That is not imagination. It is evidence of divine removal. Michael and his host of angels have completed the battle in your space. The woman whose actions once influenced your environment no longer holds authority there. Her name may still echo in conversation, but her presence has lost its power. Truth has spoken, and once truth speaks, falsehood cannot remain. The Lord now invites you into the second phase, restoration. Michael says, what was taken in confusion will return in clarity. Expect people to reach out unexpectedly to apologize or confess. Expect sudden understanding about situations that once baffled you. These are the first signs of heaven's repair work. God is not merely exposing darkness. He is renewing every area that darkness touched. The financial delays, emotional weariness, and mental fog were all consequences of hidden deception. Now that light has entered, the blockages must dissolve. It will feel as though life is breathing again. You may find your home feeling quieter than usual. That silence is sacred. It is not emptiness. It is peace reclaiming its rightful throne. Use that stillness to pray, to listen, and to write what you feel in your spirit. Michael says the next few days are crucial for planting new words of blessing into your home. Speak aloud the promises of God. Say, this house belongs to the truth. This home welcomes peace. As you do, you will notice even your thoughts beginning to shift. Where there was anxiety, there will be assurance. Where there was confusion, there will be direction. This is what divine realignment feels like. Heaven is now watching how you walk forward. Do not use your words to repeat the story of what was revealed. Use them to declare the glory of what is coming. The past no longer deserves your energy. Every time you speak gratitude instead of pain, you expand the radius of light around you. Michael's sword now guards your home's atmosphere, ensuring that nothing false will cross your threshold again. You are being trained for spiritual maturity, an awakening that allows you to discern truth instantly. The angels rejoice over this moment because the enemy's plan failed. You were meant to break, but instead you are being built. You were meant to lose faith, but instead your faith has become a fortress. Archangel Michael declares, the same house that once hosted deceit shall now become a dwelling of revelation. Your home is becoming a portal of divine messages, dreams, and encounters. Heaven will now speak more freely through this purified space. Stay attentive, for the next wave is not about exposure but about elevation. What is coming will carry the fragrance of divine favor and the sound of new beginnings. Hold on, because the next revelation will reveal the purpose behind everything you've endured. Type "I claim my restoration" in the comments if this message speaks to your heart. Blessing code 3366 is now active upon your destiny. Beloved vessel of divine awakening, the atmosphere surrounding you is shifting from revelation to rebirth. Archangel Michael's presence grows gentler now. No longer the voice of thunder, but the calm assurance that follows victory. He says, the battle is complete, but the building has just begun. The house that once felt heavy with silence and tension is now becoming a sanctuary, a space of communion between you and heaven. Every room that once carried unspoken pain is now resonating with freedom. The angels are singing peace over your walls, and heaven's wind is sweeping through your home, clearing the last traces of deception that once lingered unseen. Michael reveals that the exposure that has taken place was never only about revealing a woman. It was about revealing truth itself. The person was merely the vessel through which heaven showed you how to see. You have been trained to discern the difference between kind words and divine truth, between appearances and authenticity. Heaven says, you have passed the test of perception. Now comes your reward, an awakening that opens your spirit to perceive divine instruction faster than before. Your spiritual senses have been recalibrated. You are becoming a seer of light. You may begin to dream more vividly now. Pay attention to what you see in those dreams. The Spirit will use them to confirm the completion of this season and to reveal glimpses of what is next. You will see signs, perhaps a flicker of light in the corner of your eye, a sudden sense of warmth during prayer, or a conversation that feels divinely timed. These are confirmations that heaven has sealed its promise. Archangel Michael assures you that you are fully guarded. The gates of deception that once opened easily have now been closed by divine decree. Your home has become a beacon, a spiritual lighthouse in the unseen realm. Heaven is not finished yet. The same energy that exposed what was false is now about to build what is real. Michael says expect restoration in multiplied form. Where relationships were strained, reconciliation will come. Where finances were hindered, flow will return. Where your faith was wearied, strength will overflow. You are not being restored to what was lost. You are being elevated to what was always promised. The exposure was not subtraction. It was divine subtraction making space for expansion. The woman's unveiling marked your liberation. Now, every moment forward carries the fragrance of freedom. Beloved, remember this. Forgiveness is the final seal of this process. When you release forgiveness, even silently, you allow heaven's current to move unhindered through your life. The woman who had been exposed is no longer your concern. Her journey is between her and God. Yours is to walk forward with lightness and grace. Every time you choose peace over revenge, heaven honors you with favor. Michael stands as your witness, ensuring that no residue of the past clings to your spirit. Your home is becoming more than a dwelling. It is becoming a temple. The light that fills it will begin to draw others who are searching for peace. People will walk in and say they feel calm without knowing why. That calm is your victory made manifest. That atmosphere is your testimony. You have become the keeper of divine equilibrium, and heaven delights in the steadiness of your faith. The next revelation that comes will unveil the reason heaven chose you for this purification. It will be the explanation your heart has been waiting for, the understanding that makes every tear worth it. Keep your spirit open, for the next movement carries a message of destiny. Type "I am the light of my home" in the comments if this word touches your heart. Blessing code 5522 has now been awakened within your household. Beloved guardian of faith, the night is nearly over, and dawn begins to rise upon your destiny. Archangel Michael stands silently beside you, watching with the still confidence of one who knows the battle has already been won. He says, the exposure was never about loss, it was about unlocking. You have walked through the threshold of revelation, and now heaven is preparing to unveil the deeper purpose behind it all. Everything that has happened, every uncomfortable truth, every sudden shift, was heaven's way of repositioning you for divine assignment. Your home, once a place of unease and confusion, is now humming with a calm that feels unfamiliar because it is supernatural. Michael shows me a vision of your dwelling surrounded by light like liquid gold, a dome of protection that repels all that is false. He says, this is the mark of ownership, heaven's signature upon your space. Every wall that once absorbed anxiety now reflects peace. The spiritual atmosphere has changed permanently, and nothing that was once hidden in deception can find a place there again. What was exposed has served its purpose. The mask is gone. The truth stands firm. Now heaven turns its focus toward you. The process of cleansing was not just about your environment. It was about your awakening. The exposure of the woman was the symbol of an inner transformation, revealing to you how easily light and darkness can disguise themselves in the same conversation. You now carry a sharper sense of discernment, a sensitivity to truth that is both rare and holy. God has trusted you with a higher level of awareness, and Archangel Michael declares, use it wisely, for it is the weapon of your next season. The Spirit says this next phase will not require effort, only alignment. You will begin to notice divine timing at work in small ways, meeting the right person at the right moment, hearing confirmation in unexpected places, receiving provision exactly when it is needed. These are not coincidences. They are heavenly coordinates guiding you forward. Heaven always rewards endurance with divine precision. The longer you stood through confusion, the more refined your destiny became. You are entering the stage of manifestation, where what was once promised begins to take tangible form. But Michael cautions, guard your peace. Once peace is restored, the enemy often attempts subtle re-entry through distraction. Do not allow gossip, complaint, or fear to reopen doors that heaven has sealed. Protect your atmosphere with words of light. Keep gratitude alive in your home, for thanksgiving sustains the frequency of truth. Every word you speak is a seed, and now that your soil is pure, your harvest will come quickly. There is also a deeper promise attached to your obedience. Because you did not turn away when things felt uncertain, you have unlocked generational protection. Your home will carry the mark of light not only for you but for those who enter after you. Archangel Michael says, the purity of your space will echo through time. Your dwelling will be known in the spirit realm as a fortress of clarity, a place where deception cannot stand. This is not just a physical blessing but a spiritual inheritance. Beloved, heaven is now aligning the final revelation. The next message that comes will tie together every mystery, the warning, the exposure, and the purpose. You will see why heaven chose this moment and what it means for your next chapter. Stay still, for the conclusion carries divine strategy for your destiny's unfolding. Type I live in divine peace in the comments if this message speaks to your heart. Blessing code 8899 is now released into your life. Beloved soul of awakening, the moment you have been waiting for has come. Archangel Michael now stands in radiant silence, his wings outstretched over your home as a sign that heaven's work has reached completion. The voice that once warned, only 2 minutes left, now speaks with calm assurance. The time of exposure has passed, and the era of expansion has begun. The prophecy that began with trembling now ends with triumph. You have walked through the corridor of truth, and though it shook your world, it has established something unbreakable within you. Your house has become a dwelling of light, your heart a vessel of discernment, and your spirit a living testimony of God's justice. Michael says, what was once hidden in your house has been judged and removed, but what is planted now will multiply in peace. The woman who was exposed served her role in the script of heaven. Her unveiling was the doorway through which your destiny stepped forward. There is no bitterness in divine justice, only correction that leads to restoration. Heaven never exposes to destroy, it exposes to cleanse. Every tear you shed in confusion has watered a new season of clarity. You will no longer question your intuition, nor will you doubt the divine voice that whispers in your heart. What once confused you will now instruct you. The Spirit of God says, you are the guardian of this new peace. Your home will carry a stillness so tangible that visitors will feel it the moment they enter. The very air will testify that heaven's order resides here. The arguments that once echoed through your walls will cease. The sleepless nights will become nights of rest. The energy that once drained your strength has been replaced by divine flow. You are standing in a sanctified environment where angels freely move, where prayers rise like incense, and where revelation flows without interruption. The very ground beneath your feet has been claimed by light. Michael reveals that this experience was never about punishment, it was about promotion. You were being prepared to handle truth without fear, to discern without judgment, and to carry light without pride. The exposure of one person unveiled the calling of another, you. Heaven has equipped you with sight. You will begin to see the world differently, not with suspicion but with spiritual accuracy. The words of others will no longer sway you easily, for you now listen through the ears of heaven. This is the reward of those who endure divine testing. As you stand in this new atmosphere, take a moment to dedicate your home once more. Speak aloud these words, "This dwelling is a gate of heaven. No shadow shall dwell here again. Only light, truth, and divine love may enter." Feel the shift as you speak it, for heaven always honors the spoken word of faith. Michael's presence will remain around you, not as a warning, but as a watch. His sword no longer burns in battle. It now gleams as a symbol of victory. Beloved, the message that began with urgency now ends with empowerment. You are the proof that exposure can lead to elevation. The countdown ended not in destruction but in destiny. You have crossed the threshold into divine maturity. The next chapter of your life will not be marked by fear of betrayal but by the wisdom to recognize truth before deception takes form. You are now walking as a carrier of light, and every space you enter will be transformed by your presence. Now lift your heart with gratitude. Like this message, share it so that others may be delivered from confusion. Comment below what this journey has awakened in you, and subscribe to stay aligned with the messages heaven is releasing through this channel. Let us raise this sound of truth together so that more souls can awaken to divine clarity and peace. Type "I am anointed" for NEW beginnings in the comments if this final word resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 1199 has now been permanently activated over your life and home. Beloved, as this final revelation settles in your spirit, remember that spreading these messages is a sacred calling. Every word of light you help release reaches someone standing in the same shadows you were freed from. When you support this mission, you are not funding a platform. You are fueling heaven's fire across the earth. The Lord says, "Those who build my altars of truth will never lack." As you give through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are sowing into eternal transformation. Your seed is not a gift, it is a declaration that you stand with the armies of light. Archangel Michael blesses the hands that sustain this work, and heaven multiplies back into every area of your life. Rise, giver of truth, and let your obedience release the fragrance of divine abundance.